What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and the Jacksonville Jaguars have a budding star at receiver and what looks like their wide receiver one in Brian Thomas Jr. Through 5 weeks, Brian Thomas Jr., 22 catches, 397 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He leads all rookies in receiving yards and yards over expectation, and he has 225 yards on deep targets, which is the second most for a rookie through 5 weeks in the next-gen stats era. He's second only to Jamar Chase. So in this film, we're going to take a look at what Brian Thomas Jr. has done really, really well for Jacksonville through 5 weeks, where he can improve, and what we've seen more of from him than we did in college. So let's dive into the film, take a look at Brian Thomas Jr. All right, so when it comes to Brian Thomas Jr., I think the first thing that people associate with him is his speed. Obviously, a really good time at the combine, but you saw the big playability that he had at LSU. The good news is when you use that speed to your advantage, it opens up so many opportunities for you. So here against Houston, from a condensed look, show you how quickly he can get behind the defense, and he can really stress corners out and safeties out. And what that's going to do is open a lot of stuff up underneath to where he can be the decoy to stress defenses out. And here, it's an easy touchdown. Why? For a couple reasons. Thomas recognizes outside leverage, and the corner is playing outside leverage. All Thomas is going to do is stick his foot in the ground and just run past you, and it's an easy touchdown. It's going to be very difficult for defenders to recover and keep up with Brian Thomas on a lot of these crossers because his speed is just very difficult to match. And when you have an issue here, right, curl, slot, fade, and there's no communication between defenders, well, then you have this. Then you have a touchdown where, once again, you're in recovery mode. You're just probably not going to catch Brian Thomas. You just are not. But now when you combine that speed with the release, with the effortless ability to stack, you get reps like this, where Jalen Ramsey may just not have realized, Thomas has the speed. I'm probably going to have to contact him sooner, but it was a clean release. And look at this. He's won this. He has stacked Ramsey down the field, and Ramsey gets into panic mode and helps the Jaguars create one of the best plays on offense, defensive pass interference. Here against Derek Stingley Jr., a quick jab to the inside, right? Quick jab to the inside, opens up the outside stem, and he has won this. A good bucket throw is going to be a big play. Just a little bit inaccurate there from Trevor Lawrence, but you see the ability from Thomas to stack. And here again, inside release, outside stem, and this time the ball is placed perfectly in the bucket, and Thomas has enough of a half a step or so to win this rep down the field. And he's got a great pair of mitts on him as well. And here's a great example of using the speed, but also some stem work to create a big play. Now, Newsome's a pretty good corner for the Browns. So Thomas is really working to sell this post route, and he's going to work to the outside leverage. Newsome doesn't panic, but you see that speed in transition for Thomas. Trevor Lawrence let that ball go a while ago. So he just has to fight through contact, and this is great ball skills, great tracking ability down the field to do this at full speed, right? You're going to see, again, watch when Lawrence releases this ball. Ball is out, and he doesn't have good position on the corner, but he fights through. He uses that speed to catch up. Incredible play, tracking the football. Great catch down the field. Massive play for the Jaguars, right? And so what else does that do? That speed opens you up to be a good vertical plane receiver. And what that means is you run these curl routes with really tight efficiency through the break, like he does there against the Browns. Same thing here, where if you have good feel for route depth and where coverage is going to be, once again, you run this little curl route, sink the hips, easy stop, and you have these nice easy layups for an offense. What else can you do in the vertical plane? Great stem work. We're going to run this through. Just look at how easy that was for Thomas, right? How easy this is. So look at the pad levels down. He's treating this as a vertical route. We're going to get a little bit of stem adjustment to the outside, then back up the field. And what he does is he rounds this off perfectly, right? Look at how quickly he gears down, sinks the hips. There's just no chance for the corner to make that play. There just isn't. Now you show the deceleration on these curl routes, right? Look at how he's selling this. Again, good pad level. He's showing that this is a vertical route. And then, boom, nice throw by technique. Look at the hip sink here through the break, and look at how quickly you stop in a couple yards and a couple steps. When you can run curl routes like that with the speed he has, it is nearly impossible to defend. Okay, and then you run this one, right? Little throw by again, where he's going to open up a window here for the quarterback to throw. It just doesn't go his direction. So what else does that give you? Well, now you have the ability to run some of these deep comebacks, which not the best one, but it's a good play by the corner. But you can run these comeback routes, and you can run like this, a little stutter comeback. He does slip a little bit outside this break, but he gears down so well that he has the separation, and he nearly makes that play after stumbling. So you see all this, and then, okay, now you see the stutter. You know he can run the curl route. You know, how do you defend this? And when he can stutter like this and then plant that foot in the ground to reaccelerate, a little stutter go, it is really difficult to defend him on the vertical plane like that. Then you get into some of these, right? How quickly he can run that little speed out and what that opens up, right? You run the speed out, and because your head and shoulders, like right here, are turned right parallel with this yardage marker, you have to respect the quick out, especially when you're backed up near the goal line. Emerson Jr. commits, easy reacceleration out of this double move, and you're going to create some separation like this, not double moves. When you have the route salesmanship, the ability to transition and reaccelerate, all of that is really, really impressive. Now, also with Brian Thomas Jr., release game, right? Easy, and it's subtle, but you can see it. We'll go it again. Jab. Look at him dip the shoulder underneath, right, to avoid contact. That's how you can win some of these crossers. And as we already talked about with the crossers, he is very difficult to defend in that regard. Another really nice one, right? Gain ground a little bit. Sell to the outside, move the corner, and you have an easy window to throw that slant route. Really good, vary up that tempo with the release like he does there. Really nice job. Then what else can he do? Now, it's something he didn't do a lot of at LSU is run a lot of these in breakers, right? He did run some of the drag routes, but he looked a little uncomfortable and kind of where he should be, navigate through traffic, all that stuff. But when you're in this look, I mean, against, middle field closed, but you're in that cover 3 or cover 1, you can do a lot of this. And what he does here, little threaten to the outside. Corner has to respect it, can easily maintain that speed, even with that little jab step to the outside. And that's what makes him so difficult to defend, right? Look at this. Right here is a great example. Inside stem release. The corner has to treat this vertically because Thomas has already almost positioned himself to stack. And what does that do? Well, if you can quickly transition like this horizontally, you can win these in routes, these in breakers, as easily as Thomas did there. And again, little jab step if you saw it to the outside. Corner has to respect that. It opens up a little bit of a window for him. And also the ball skills. We already talked about him tracking it. This is really good extension there to go up and get the football. This is one of my favorites, right? Because it shows that there is recognition skills and the timing and the chemistry is there with Trevor Lawrence. And this was week 1. So, right, he's running this sort of this deep in or sort of a post here. You can kind of, whatever you like. But what he does do is recognize, okay, if I'm running this to the corner, 1, I need to know my route depth. 2, I need to know where defenders are. And 3, I need to navigate it, right? Lawrence has let this ball go. He has let the ball go already. Does it look like he's throwing it to Thomas? No, it doesn't. But Thomas knows where he needs to get to. He needs to get to this back corner. Boy, you just talk about chemistry, timing, route depth, everything you need there, recognizing coverage and how to navigate it. Just excellent. And so how about a little yards after the catch for you? So he runs the speed out, right? And yards after the catch, I wouldn't say is Thomas's strong suit, but he's sudden and quick enough to make things happen. So he catches this, and if you didn't see it, we'll go back really quick. Look at that right here. Little peek as to, okay, sideline, defender, where can I attack? Quick turn, right, sink the hips, and also that plant foot, that reacceleration is impressive. And you're picking up, 4 or 5 yards there after the catch, which isn't nothing. It really isn't nothing, promise. So here, again, the suddenness, right? Sink the hips, whoops, make two guys miss in space, right? I know he didn't generate a lot of the catch there, but again, it just shows you that he can be sudden. And when he knows he has the sideline here, that reacceleration, break one tackle, and you're generating 8-9 yards after the catch, which is really, really nice. So I think there are things for Thomas to improve on. I think there's a couple, right? You kind of sometimes you see him struggle a little bit through the break point, contact in the stem. That's something he'll have to improve upon. Here, it's just catching through contact, right? Making sure you're ready to catch this football on these quick stuff and realize that contact is going to be there. There's going to be contact at the catch point sometimes, and it'd be better for him to extend and secure the football. And I think here's a really good example of something you'll probably see more of with Thomas, where it's second down, it's not third. You don't have to sit at the sticks here. You don't have to, but you're inviting contact back in by not getting back to this football. So Brian Thomas Jr., there's so much to like, right? With the release package, with the route tree, especially on the vertical plane, that is really exceptional, but he was already really good at that. But the ability to treat everything as a vertical route, the ability to accelerate and decelerate quickly, right, to manage really tight breaks, through that route break at the top is really impressive. Show off a little bit of yards after the catch, but the tracking, the ball skills, that stuff is really, really important to be an elite deep threat receiver. And that's what we're seeing Brian Thomas Jr. become very early as a rookie. So if you guys enjoyed this video on Brian Thomas Jr., if you did, throw a like down there, subscribe if you're new, plenty more content on the way very, very soon. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Farewell.